Well, hello, my loves. We are here, day 23, and we're going to talk about a continuation of the conversation from 2 days, which was about the exhaustion in trying. How, when we are so desperately trying to be something, to do something, that there can be this deep exhaustion that happens within that. Now, just as a little recap, feel free to go back. It was a short video, 5, 6 minutes, but it talks about how when we are in the identity of, and I gave an example of a friend, a conversation I'd had about them trying to eat healthier, even though there was evidence of them doing it, them trying to not diet, them trying to take better care of themselves, and how exhausting being in the identity of the person that can't do it, doesn't do it, hasn't figured it out, is trying to figure it out, that energy can be really depleting. We get exhausted in that. We're like, I'm just trying so hard, but I can't get there. Versus tapping into the energy of, I am a person who figures it out. I am a person who eats healthy. I am a person that takes care of their body. That the exhaustion from the different identity and the lock in to the identity of the person that has it, that is it, is a choice. Because within that, there's something called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is essentially, in layman's terms, where we can confirm, our brain can find evidence to confirm any sort of bias. We see this on a mass scale in so many ways right now, where we are confirming that this group of people is bad and this group of people is good, or this is right and this is wrong, and people on either sides are finding ways to confirm that their version of it is true. So the destruction of confirmation bias and people's ability to really powerfully do this within our brains can be seen in great ways, and not great by good, but in like large ways. But within ourselves, we have that microcosm of the macrocosm. We still have that same battle within ourselves, that same confirmation bias of the identity that we choose to lock into. So if we're choosing to lock into the person that doesn't have it, that can't do it, that's trying, that's confused, that's not sure, that's all of that, and spending immense amount of energy on committing to being that person and finding evidence for being that person, versus choosing to be, I am a person that takes good care of my body, and then finding the evidence for that. Then, so say you went to the gym 3 times this week, and say you had all salads for lunch every day, and you had healthy breakfasts, and sure, you had a piece of cake and you had a couple cookies and you had some chips. If you know you're a person that takes care of yourself, that bowl of chips you sat down to is the exception, not the rule. It is the outlier, not the evidence to confirm that we're bad. We're not there yet. But then here's the other layer to it. It's where we also are inviting, in the trying identity, we're inviting the shame and the guilt. Now, there is an actual scale of lower vibration, the energetics of what the vibration of shame and guilt is, which is some of the lowest. Shame is the lowest vibration that we can vibrate at. Guilt and shame are the lowest vibration. Highest being, love, joy, all of that. And there's many different scales you can look at. I pulled up one from Abraham Hicks, but there's several different scales that talk about this energetic frequency of different emotions. So when we don't choose to lock into a new identity, we choose to stay in the place, right? This is why so many people have a hard time changing, because they haven't made the decision to lock into this new identity. It's a decision. It is simply a decision. There is no rule book that says, like, oh, well, here are the 7 things you have to do in order to be this identity. No, it's a choice. This is why people shift their realities. This is why people make these exponential, points of growth and change, because one day they decided that was it. But if you've been paying attention to why that is so exponential, you would see it even within this conversation that the choice to decide you are that person puts you in a different energetic vibration. You're not wallowing in shame and guilt. You see confirmation of the ways that you're doing it well, the ways that you're showing up as that person. And then there's some outliers, and you then have a conversation. Well, that's not the person that I am. That's not the person that takes care of their body. Okay, maybe I'll do it different. Or maybe I did have a piece of cake and I felt good about it, versus shaming ourselves. Because if we're the person that's trying and can't get it right, and we have a piece of cake, then we feel bad and we feel shame and we feel guilt and we feel angry with ourselves. All lower vibration. So it cycles us down into this lower vibration, pulling us down energetically. And people, whether they're aware of it or not, can feel other people's energy. They can feel their vibration. You can feel my vibration right now through the screen. We feel people's energy everywhere we go. We walk by people, we see people. Literally, energy transfers through the internet to other people. And so you're wallowing in that shame and guilt. This is why we also see where all of a sudden people seem to be lucky. They've tapped into that lucky energy of, they made a decision to change their lives, and then all of a sudden all these people are showing up to help them. It's not because this person is exceptionally lucky, but it's because they locked into the identity of the person that has it, which means I am XYZ. I am this person. And that already, energetically, is on a higher vibration. And they keep finding more evidence, and they do take one step. And they're like, wow, I did this one thing today. You don't have to have a business to decide you're a business owner. You don't have to have eaten a salad today